Hello again, everyone. So I had given a sort of sneak peek of this notebook in a prior video, and this is a B6 Slim in a Hemmingway Kilimanjaro. The Kilimanjaro color is no longer available, but there are several other Hemmingway colors available on Chic Sparrow's website. Although right now, I don't know when you'll be watching this, but right now they are not shipping anything out because of the stay-at-home orders. So it'll give you some context if you're watching at a different time. So this notebook is the one that I put rings in. So I put the personal size rings in, and you can see what this all is fabric samples. So that's what I'm using this for, and it is actually working pretty well. And the reason why I decided to use it for fabric samples is because then I can take each individual page out and compare different fabrics without having to do a little bit of wrangling with the pages to figure it out. So I'll go ahead and open it up here. So here on this side, I have some business cards from fabric shops that I purchased from before, both locally and online. And then, well, I'll show you the end when we get there. This is a Filofax card insert for the rings. It's just like a business card holder. The reason why I have this in here right now is to protect the front of the notebook from the pins that I'm using to hold the fabric to the paper. And I may end up putting something in here, but I haven't yet. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so what I did was I put a bunch of blank pages from Filofax in here, and then I attached well, actually 2 to 4 samples on each page of little fabric samples with pins. So I thought about different ways to do it. I thought about taping it, I thought about stapling them in, and eventually I settled on pins, these little T-pins, because then I could remove it fairly easily and just take that one sample out instead of taking the whole page out if I wanted to. So it gives me a few more options. I may end up using a different way of putting them in here eventually, but this is the way I did it the first time. And since I didn't like this little Filofax branding down here on the side, each and every page says Filofax right here. So I put different washi tapes over it. And unfortunately, because washi tape is rather translucent, or at least some of them are, you can see through them and see the name anyway. But anyway, it adds a very, classy flair on each page, if nothing else. So I'll just go through this quickly, and I found out that I had a lot more fabric samples than I thought, but I don't have like a huge amount, so it was kind of manageable to put them in here. So on each page, I just put 2 here in the beginning, and as I went, I put some additional samples in here on each page just because I didn't want this book to get too bulky. And some of the fabric I didn't have a lot of, so I didn't want to put really big swatches in here, because then I would obviously be taking a pretty large amount of the fabric just for the sample. So I'm just going to flip through quickly. So here, and these also are all part of a particular line or set of fabrics. And this is actually the same. I wanted to capture every color that appeared in the fabric, and they were kind of far from each other, so I put these together. Hopefully I'll actually remember. And so I haven't labeled each individual fabric sample yet, and I'm trying to figure out how I should do that, whether I should maybe put the names on a little strip of white washi tape and put them in there so I can change them out if I need to, or if I want to write right on the paper. I'm just really not sure yet how I want to do that. And I do have a pen here. This is a gel pen. It's a little gel pen that changes colors as you go through. I'm not sure how crazy I am about the pen, but I thought it was kind of cute since it had some purple accents on it to go with this particular notebook. So I'm not going to go through everything. So what I'll do is I'll just flip through and then flip through to the end. Oh, and I have one extra page in the back that's blank, pretty much for the same purpose that that plastic file folder is in the front, so that I can protect the leather from the pins. And here I actually put 4 on that last page. And most of what I have fabric for is for quilting or just actually making little art projects so that I could make a wall hanging or something like that. So I don't have an extensive collection, but I do have a collection that fits really well in here. And these, so these, I'm not quite sure what to do with these. These are all from a particular set, really, that I got for these fabrics. They're all from the same maker. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to put a little, like a little zip folder in here and just tuck them in there. But I didn't feel like I had enough room for all of these, and a lot of them are similar to each other. They're just in different fabrics. So anyway, for the time being, I just put them back here. And this is one problem with this, keeping these like this, is that they shed a lot. When I went through, I cut them with pinking shears, which is what makes the little zigzag edges, and that should help prevent that, but there's so many edges that I didn't go in and clean up that were already the edge of the fabric. So we'll see. I mean, this is a work in progress at this point, but I thought it was pretty good for keeping track of all of this. And now I actually can just look in here instead of having to look through all the little drawers that I have my fabrics in, and I have a pretty good reference book here. I thought about doing the same thing for embroidery thread, because I do embroider quite a bit and have quite a bit of thread, but I decided against it just because I can take out the little spools of thread and compare them to each other that way, and it's not really that hard. With the fabric, it's a little bit harder to pull out an entire folded up piece of fabric and compare it to another, because it's kind of a pain to have to dig it out. But with the embroidery thread, it's a lot easier. So I opted not to do that. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with my second B6 Slim that I put rings in, because I got two sets of, I got a set of 2 rings when I ordered this off of Amazon. I think it's the Moterm brand, which I'll link below in case you're interested. So I got 2 of them, so I put the other rings in another B6 Slim, and I'm trying to figure out whether I want to leave them in there or if I want to take them out and just have one ringed notebook, because I'm not really into rings for journaling or planning. I mean, I completely understand why people do, because it's very interchangeable. You can take things in and out really easily, but I'm just not really a rings planner person. So I want to figure out if I want to keep that and keep some other kind of collection in there. If you have any ideas for me, please let me know down in the comments. I'm always looking for a good idea on how to use a traveler's notebook. So let me know. All right. Well, that's all for today, and I will see you again next time. Please feel free to like and or subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.